Good morning. Welcome to Canning with Kate. I'm Kate, and I am so pleased that you are here to join me this morning. I hope you all had a wonderful Merry Christmas and were able to spend time with family and or friends and just celebrate the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ this Christmas season. So welcome back, and today we are going to jump in and can mandarin oranges. My kids love them, and I love that I can make them in a healthy way without all the junk and the preservatives and the sugar. So I am going to show you how I do that. The first step, I've already gotten started, and there is a trick to getting mandarin oranges or any type of citrus ready to can without the pith. The first time I ever canned mandarin oranges or regular oranges, I also did some grapefruit. I got as much of the pith off as possible manually, but then when I canned it, even in the syrup, they were still super bitter, and I ended up having to throw out all the jars, which was disappointing because I was anticipating a wonderful outcome. So the trick that I found out was that you need to use a specific enzyme to remove the pith for you. And so I started asking questions, and I got a lot of information from my canning Facebook group. So I'm going to show you what I found. So this is the stuff that you need to use to take away the pith. All right, it's pectic enzymes, or you can also find that it's called pectinase, and you can either get it in a powder form, which is what I have here, is a powder, or you can get it in a liquid form. And then see, this is the mandarin orange that I have peeled, but it still has a lot of the pith on it, and that is what turns the product so incredibly bitter, and you won't want to eat it. And this is the solution. So here I have mixed in the enzymes with water, and I've removed and segmented all of my mandarin oranges. And so now the solution is working to remove or dissolve all the pith off of the orange segments. And then once that pith is off, you can rinse the orange segments and get them ready to can. So I have two bowls. This one I'm going to put the rest of my mandarin oranges into this solution and get them ready to go. Now you can see that I'm also not wasting my orange peels. Right here I have, these are not potatoes obviously, but I just used all of my orange peels and put those in white vinegar, and I put a few cloves in there, and this is just going to sit for about a month to 1 to 2 months, and I will have a wonderful smelling cleaning solution. So I got three of those, so 2 quarts and a pint of those, and so this will be my cleaning solution in a couple months. For this, I used 1 tablespoon of the pectic enzymes. There's not a specific amount that you use. The more you use, the faster it's going to work. But also, you don't want to just kind of waste your product. You want to be frugal in how much you use. So I just used 1 tablespoon. Honestly, that might be too much, but it's cold in my kitchen, and the temperature that you put this in is going to affect the amount of time that it takes. So if it's colder in the room that you have this sitting in, then it's going to take a little bit longer. It could take up even to a day to remove all of the pith from your citrus fruit, or it could take it depends. Like if you were to do this in the summer and you have a really warm kitchen, then it might only take like 1 hour to 2 hours to be ready to go. So we'll see how long it takes today, and I might be finishing this video tomorrow, depending on how long it takes to get all this stuff dissolved. You also want to make sure that you don't leave it too long, because on the opposite end, if you leave it too long in that solution, then the pectinase or the pectic enzymes will actually start to dissolve your fruit. And if you're trying to can oranges, you don't want your oranges be dissolved, right? So just kind of keep an eye on it. Stir it every now and then just to kind of move around the segments. And then once everything looks pretty clean, then you can remove them from your solution, just rinse them off really well, and then we'll be ready to go ahead and put them in the syrup, or if you want just water or fruit juice, whatever you choose, and go ahead and can them up. So I'm going to finish segmenting the rest of my mandarins and put them in my solution, leave them until they're ready, and then I will bring you back and I'll show you how to do the rest. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, thank you for joining me back here. I am getting ready to finish up the mandarins now. Remember last I was soaking them in the pectinase or the pectic enzymes, and I ended up having to soak them overnight before they were ready to rinse. So I have completed the majority of them. You can see most of that pith is off, and they're looking pretty good. I've not been able to ever get them to the point where they're just like completely orange with no white at all. I don't know how people do that. Maybe I just need to leave them in the pectinase a little bit longer, but this is what I got and I'm satisfied with that. So, sorry, that was my kid's timer. All right, so I'm going to show you what it looks like as it is just coming out of the pectinase. So you can kind of see it's a little bit gloppy, maybe is the proper term for that. So what I do is I take it out of the solution and I just start peeling, and you can see that all of this pith starts to come off way easier than before. So that's all you do, and then you get as much off as possible. Some are going to look a little cleaner than others, and then right, so there it is. You see a little bit of white there, but that's not coming off. All right, and then I just rinse it. And I put it back in a bowl of water because I don't want my orange slices to dry out before I get them all done, because this is a process. I know some people have said that they've done this once and never again, and I completely understand that, because this is definitely a more labor intensive and time intensive prep for canning. The actual canning itself is super easy because this is just a water bath or a steam bath for a few minutes, and you put it in a light syrup or in water or in fruit juice, whatever is your liquid of choice, and see, those look pretty clean. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish the last few orange slices that I have and get my jars washed. It's been a busy morning, so I have not had a chance to do that yet. So once all my jars are washed and clean, then I will bring you back and we'll start loading these orange slices into the jars and put them in a light syrup, because that's how I prefer to can them, is in a light syrup. And I think that's how my kids prefer them. I think that I might hear some pushback if I just did them in water. They would tell me, these aren't sweet, these don't taste good, and you know how kids are, they like the sweet, and can't really blame them. So I'm going to finish removing all the pith as much as I can, and then I will bring you back and we'll start loading these into the canner, and then we'll start, the whole process of getting these mandarin oranges on the shelf. All right, see you in a bit. All right, we are back, and I have gotten my mandarins all washed, and the jars have been washed and cleaned, and so now I just took the mandarin oranges and I put them in the jars. I got 5 pints out of, I believe, 4 pounds of mandarin oranges. So just to give you an amount. Now I have already made the simple syrup. It's an extra light syrup, but you can of course make whatever type of syrup that you want. And so now we are just going to fill up our jars to 1/2 inch headspace with our syrup. See, this is a super easy, but the time intensity is pretty high. So that's why so many people can hear my daughter in the background. Only do this process once. But if you have kids or if you love the canned mandarins, it's definitely worth the process because they're yummy. All right, almost done. Now, I'm never sure how much simple syrup is going to take, so usually I do like 1.5 batches, and this one I could probably have done just 1 batch. But that just means I have extra. So maybe I can get some more fruit this week at the store.
Look.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay. So after you put the syrup in, you want to debubble. Get those oranges nice and packed in there.
Yes.
And then make sure, double check that it's at 1/2 inch headspace. Now this one has too many oranges, so I'm just going to move it. Alright, so 1/2 inch headspace. The simple syrup is always where you get messy in the kitchen. Always a sticky mess. Okay. So once it's been done, you are going to want to wipe the rims, and I'm going to use just a clean hot towel.
Mommy, look, that's you.
Lovely. My daughter has been very into drawing pictures of her family lately, so she likes to draw pictures of mommy.
Yes, Daddy.
And Daddy. And Daddy is my videographer today. So, thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Alright. Now, once all of these have been wiped down, you want to put your lids and your rings on. Fingertip tight.
Yeah. With his body.
There's something in my juice here, so I'm trying to grab that out.
Oh my god, his head is so big.
Okay. Re-wipe that. My lids have been washed. I'm just going to pop those on. And put them on fingertip tight. Now, for pints, you are going to steam or water bath can these for 10 minutes. So I steam them. That is my preferred method, but you can certainly do the water bath. And once, because I'm doing steam, it's a little bit different. You are going to do the 10 minutes of steaming, and then once that timer has gone, after it has steamed properly, then I'm going to leave my lid on my canner for an extra 5 minutes. And then after the total of 15 minutes, I am going to remove my lid. Not the lids of the jars, So it's my canner. Okay. So here we go. They are in the canner. I'm going to go ahead and seal it. I'm going to bring it up to steam. So once you see the steam coming out of the vent, that's when you start your timer. So 10 minutes with that, and then turn off the heat. Another 5 minutes with the lid on, and then you're done. And you take out your jars, and once those are out, I will bring you back and show you how they look, and then I'll show you how it looks after 12 to 24 hours, so tomorrow, before I put them in the pantry. All right, I will see you in a little bit. All right, here we go. The canner has done its thing, and I have just pulled out the mandarin oranges, and I ended up actually canning the simple syrup that I made. So I have 3 pints of simple syrup and 5 pints of mandarin oranges. Let's take a look. So there they are, and there's the simple syrup. The only jar that I'm watching is this one. You can kind of see that I don't know if you can tell, but the top is not sealed yet. So I am hoping that that will seal overnight. Everything else looks like they have sealed and they are looking good. So I will just wait and see tomorrow, and if that last jar does not seal, then my kids have some mandarin oranges to eat this week. So yeah, that's it. So a pretty easy process, and then tomorrow morning I will go ahead and remove the rings and wash the jars and label them and put them on the pantry shelf. So only one is a little suspect, and that one might end up getting eaten tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you try this. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this, if you want to see something else. And like, subscribe, and share my video. All right, have a great day. Bye.